Alright, so in my last video, we did everything we need for acrylic nails and we prepped. Now, we're going to go on to our application. Right here, I'm taking all the air bubbles out of my monomer. I poured my monomer in my dapping dish, and I'm getting rid of all the air bubbles, just like that. Okay? Product consistency, next. So, I will put my brush all the way in, just like I'm doing right here, and I just tap it. And I draw back a second. Tap, draw back a bit, just a bit. Pick up a perfect bead, just like this for me. Perfect, okay? So this is my way of product consistency. Everyone does things different. Sometimes they'll put their brush in and draw all the way back. Brush their brush against the dapping dish, draw all the way back, and count 1, 2, 3. This is the way I do it, okay? See how I'm picking up my beads? I'm just putting in my brush all the way in the monomer. I get it all the way wet. Tap it. Draw back for a little bit. Just draw it back on the dapping dish. So watch how I do that. And you see how it gave me a perfect consistency. To the point where if I was doing pink and white and I'm doing the reverse, look it. We got a perfect smile line starting by the cuticle. I would work the cuticle. And this is if I was going to use one color. So sometimes I use two. I'll use a cover pink and then I'll put this color on top of the cover. But see, perfect smile line. We're good to go. Okay, so I go all the way in. Now I'm drawing back all the way. See that? I want a littler bead. So I will put my brush in, holding it on top of the powder, and I just got a little bead. Perfect. Perfect for me. See, this is the way I do it. If I want a littler bead, I'll draw back all the way. If I want a bigger bead, I will put my brush all the way in, just like I'm doing here, and tap. See, brush all the way in, tap. Brush all the way in, tap. Okay, and you can pick up where you're picking up frontwards or backwards. I'm more of a backwards person. I pick up my brush backwards. I hold it backwards. Or you can see, a lot of people will hold their pinky towards the dapping dish, and that's more of a frontward pickup. Okay, I'm more of a backwards. So I go backwards like I'm doing here. But you want to put your brush all the way in, just like that, draw back, and pick up your bead. I hold it on the powder and just I don't drag it. To me, it's easier just to hold it like this. I get a perfect bead. So here's our bead. And I'm just going to put it on top of what we already have. So we got a perfect bead consistency. See that? Perfect. Every time. Alright, and the beads that I'm picking up that I'm showing you are beads that I pick up really big when I do a layover. So if I'm just going to apply a whole color and put gel polish on top, I will pick up a bead like that big. And that's the one ball method, and I'm using a littler brush. So, works well for me, but I will show you a bigger brush too. Alright guys, and remember, every time you go in for a new bead or you're working on the nail, you always want to wipe your brush. Rinse in the monomer, wipe on the paper towel. That's why a lot of people will get their brushes clogged with the product because they're not wiping and rinsing enough. So make that a habit. Keep doing it over and over and over. That's all I can say is over and over and over. And here I am again. Okay, so I just white, and we're working with white now. So white is a little bit more challenging. White is a little more runnier. It seems like even with the same, see how I had to tap and draw back? Because I have to change my method of picking up my monomer with the white, because white's a little bit more, it seems to get more runnier. So I will draw back like this all the way. See that? Then pick up my white. See? Very different. So watch how I am doing it. It's like I always say, it's easier to learn when watching. So see exactly what I'm doing, and then you can follow that way. But you see I picked up my pink very differently and the white very differently, and still had the same consistency, and my white was still, though, a little more runny. So you wanna, this is just, I mean, there's so many different ways of product consistency. There really is. People do different things. So some people will, like I said, put their brush in the monomer, draw back all the way like I just did, okay, and then pick up their bead. And that's what I usually do for white. I draw back all the way to get a littler bead of white. So we're gonna do like the French right now. So this is the traditional way, not the reverse. So you would pick up your bead of white, okay, and you really want it to this consistency, not runny. You bring up one side, okay, then you will go and work on the other side, just like I'm doing, and then brushing the white down, clean up with your brush, okay, and dip it in the monomer. You want to clean up your smile, okay, the smile, you want to fix that area, just like I'm doing right here. This is the traditional way of doing a pink and white. You would do the color first, or your white first. Alright, so see that? Brush in, draw back, pick up my white. Okay, here's our consistency. The best way to learn your product consistency is to practice. Grab your brush, because hot and cold make a big difference too. That, if you pick it up, and a lot of times when it's cold, it'll either dry really, really slow when it's cold. When it's hot, it'll dry faster. So that has a lot to do with your acrylic and monomer when you're messing around with that stuff. So the best way is to practice, to learn what consistency works better for you when picking up, because people do different things. And just here, I just show you different ways of how I'm doing it. So I just picked up a really big bead, okay, and I'm gonna do the one ball method right here for you guys with this little brush, and we're just gonna bring down all the acrylic in one swipe, and we're not using the bigger brush, so it can be done. Alright, so here's another way I'm showing you. You want to hold the finger down, okay, and work the cuticle area like I'm doing, and see our stress is already really high in the middle. Then as you bring your product down, okay, just like I'm doing here, you just bring it down, feather the bottom, very gentle. Remember, the bottom should be thin. We don't need that high. And our nail is done. One bead, and that's it, okay? I'm using a bigger brush now. So you see how you use this brush when you're using the bigger, fatter one, and you're doing the one ball method. You want to, and I do that with my littler brush. You want to get your brush, put your product on, and then lift. and keep lifting your brush. So watch how I'm doing it, and then I feather the product down at the bottom right there, okay? Because that you want that thin. Your cuticle should be thin, and your bottom should be thin. So we're gonna work on top of this acrylic. See how I'm lifting with my brush, okay? We had just applied it. Now I'm gonna bring it down. And I've been practicing with the bigger brushes, and to me, the smaller brushes are easier for me. I haven't really mastered this way yet, but so far, just showing you, this is not, probably a lot of people do it differently, but I've been practicing the one ball method with the bigger brush. So see how I just did that? And it seems so much easier for me with the littler brush, guys. But some people are really good with the big brush. I'm not. So I'm just showing you how they usually, when you usually pick it up like that, you'll lift your brush and then lift it like how you see me doing. But that's with the bigger brush. But I wanted to show you, this video was meant to show you product consistency and also how I'm doing the one ball method with my littler brush. And you can have the bigger brush and still get the same result. So I think I work better with the littler one. So I'm just showing you some more ways. See, when you put your acrylic on, then you want to feather the bottom down. So you want to always practice with your product. This is really what this video is about. It's I want to show you guys your beginners how to work with your product, know what consistency works for you. Now you know how to pick it up and work with it, your acrylic. So please just watch how I'm doing it. Go back if you have to and see how I draw my brush back in the monomer. And hopefully it helps you guys. But even if you see what I'm doing and you go do it, it's not going to work for you because you haven't practiced that yet. You have to always practice. It really, really does make perfect, guys. I promise. Alright, so many of you always ask what brushes I'm using. I use a lot of different ones, so I'm just showing you here. I use the Harmony brushes. This one is a 2-piece. Okay, I think they're size 9. I use the other one, so these are both Harmonies. These two, the fatter ones, and this one, this little one, it's a French brush, are from today's products. And this one I'm showing you, look, for French. You guys got to get this brush. Look at that. If you're doing a French polish, you just rock it like that. There's your French. Look at that. Oh, I love this brush, guys. They got 2 different kinds. I don't know. They have 2 different ones. So you'd have to see, but you have to get this, you guys. You're gonna love it. It's the best French brush I've ever used, and you don't wanna slide it across the polish. You like rock it how I showed you. So then we're gonna need your 150 files. That's for filing your acrylic, or if you're gonna use a drill bit, a carbide or whatnot. But here's all the products again that we're gonna need. So in this video and the other video, this is everything we need. Thank you guys so much, and I love you guys.